Councillor Williamson's next.
He's a guy with more hair. Mr. Timms, the fathers of Confederation, MacDonald, Cartier and Company, they had the advantage of some hindsight, and they drew the best aspects of the Westminster parliamentary tradition of government from Britain, and they looked down to the south of us, and they drew some of the aspects from the Great Republic to our south. And in our system of government, the Prime Minister is not directly elected, and the Premiers are not directly elected. So what you're proposing to me is a 180-degree departure from the Canadian-style form of democracy that we have. I mean, would you like to see the Prime Minister directly elected and the Premiers as well?
I haven't contemplated that, Councillor Williamson. What I'm talking about is this region and how to make it work better. And I'm looking at the examples where Terry Cook was the regional chair elected for Hamilton Wentworth. I'm looking at Gary Carr, who's the regional chair directly elected for Halton. I see those regions working very well, and I think that their model is obviously accepted by the province as a workable model and has gained acceptance in those jurisdictions. So I think there is, it's not anti-Canadian or anti-British parliamentary. It is simply a matter of directly elected regional chair by the public, so that whatever the platform, personality, or leadership that a regional chair has, he has to demonstrate it in all 12 municipalities, all corners of the region. And then when he is leading a regional council, he has some mandate to exercise what the public gave him as authority to exercise as a chairman.
Okay. Have you done any analysis of what it would cost to run a region-wide election with over 400,000 people?
Well, we can talk to Gary Carr, we can talk to the others who have. It would cost. It is definitely worth the exercise. It is worth the money. So because when we do these regional council elections, and we do the municipal elections, the focus in every municipality is on the mayor's race. It is on the ward race. The regional exercise is not about regional issues. It's not about regional priorities. And at this point in this economy, in Niagara's history, we need to have a focus on the regional picture. And only a directly elected regional chair will bring that into every home, every voter's perception in a municipal election.
Okay, but the cost of running an election, if it escalates substantially like it would happen with a direct election across the region, that money's got to come from somewhere, and that money's likely to come from special interests, or it's going to have to come from party politics, I would suggest, and that's the direction I think that would lead. Would you disagree with that possibility from happening?
The possibility that the election might become politically partisan in terms of Liberal, Conservatives, NDPs, that could be. I think that what will happen is that wherever a coalition will need to be built that represents all the municipalities, and the parties may not necessarily be involved in that. It doesn't have to be based on party politics. People will gravitate to the philosophy or the agenda of the candidates, and however that falls on party lines, that's fine. But I think the region needs a real strong economic development approach to develop attract the kind of business we need to really develop revenues, and not worry so much about the incremental cost of election to get that kind of leadership. Worry more about the results.
Well, fine. I think that's off topic. In the past, you've talked about councillors being elected citizens, and now you're talking about full-time politicians. Don't you think we're going to lose the local connection if we have full-time professional politicians as career politicians, as opposed to people who devote their time more to community interest than other reasons?
Yes, I think that's a concern. That's why I like the Halton or the Durham model, especially the town of Oakville model, where the elected taxpayer is the ward councillor, who's part-time, just as we all are now. But you add the advantage of a full-time councillor that is fully aware of city issues and regional issues, and can bring the two together and really take a hold of projects and initiatives that need a lot of time and effort. so that you have in that model a balance of both. You have the local
Would someone like,
part-time
wouldn't
city council.
wouldn't Mr. Chair Partington have that same advantage today? Would be the difference if he was directly elected or not?
Well, I think the advantage would be that he would have a mandate from the public, from every corner of the region, and every citizen around, every voter around the region will have had a chance to have their view, to have their vote on whether they like Mr. Partington's platform or X, Y, and Z platforms.
To that point, won't the directly elected leader likely always come from the largest city in the municipality?
Well, I don't think so, because
Why wouldn't that happen?
well, it's simple that the largest city is St. Catharines, and we have 33% of the population, so probably 33% of the vote. But if we don't, if a candidate from St. Catharines doesn't establish respect for his platform in Niagara Falls or Fort Erie or Pelham or Port Colborne, he won't get elected. There will be the need for that chairman to demonstrate an understanding of issues all across the region, from Fort Erie to Grimsby. And that's necessary to make it work. I think that kind of democracy works in Halton region, it worked in Hamilton region, when it was Hamilton-Wentworth, and it can work across the Niagara region, to our advantage, I think.